The Fallen Watches, the Nephilim, and the corruption of Earth. In the early days before the Great Flood, the world was not as we know it today. The Nephilim, or giants, were not simply oversized beings. They were the result of an unnatural union between the Watchers, fallen angels who descended from the heavens, and human women. These angels had been sent by God to watch over humanity, but in their rebellion, they took wives from among humankind and taught them forbidden knowledge. The Book of Enoch tells of these angels who, after descending, defiled themselves with human women, and as a result, their offspring, giants, began to walk the earth. The leader of these angels, Semiaza, was tasked with overseeing the Watchers, but he soon became enticed by the beauty of human women. Unable to act alone, Semiaza bound the other 199 Watchers in a mysterious oath to take wives from among the daughters of men. This pact was made on Mount Hermon, a place that would later become infamous for this transgression. In 1869, an ancient pillar was discovered on Mount Hermon, containing inscriptions that hinted at this event, further linking the mountain to the rebellion of the Watchers. The angels swore an oath on Mount Hermon, vowing to carry out their plan without fear of retribution. They descended to earth, and as prophesied, they began to teach humanity forbidden knowledge that God had kept hidden from them. This included secrets of the heavens, astrology, sorcery, the making of weapons, and the art of war. Semiaza, as their leader, was especially influential, and his actions would set the stage for the widespread corruption that followed. These giants were monstrous, not only in stature, but in their sinfulness. They brought great violence, corrupting not just humanity but all of creation, sinning against animals, beasts, birds, and even the fish of the sea. They performed unnatural acts, miscegenation, crossbreeding animals and humans in an effort to create abominations. The earth, once pure and harmonious, was now filled with corruption, violence, and defilement. The Genesis account reiterates this corruption. The earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. This was the time when Noah, a man who was perfect in his generations, stood as the last righteous person. In the midst of this chaos, Noah remained faithful, and God saw him as the sole survivor who could carry on the human race. The punishment of the fallen angels. The Book of Enoch provides further insight into the angels' punishment. The one who taught humanity to make weapons and armor, Azazel, was particularly responsible for leading humanity into the sin of war. Genesis itself confirms that the violence on earth was a direct result of the fallen angels' influence. These angels taught humans the art of warfare, spreading chaos and bloodshed. As punishment, Azazel was bound and cast into the desert of Dudiel, which the scriptures suggest is east of Jerusalem. Semiaza, the leader, was not exempt from punishment. After the rebellion, God sent his archangels to bind Semiaza and the Watchers. They were taken to a place of darkness, a deep abyss, as a form of imprisonment. Semiaza's punishment was particularly severe, as he had led the others into sin, causing widespread corruption. His role as the chief instigator of the angels' rebellion marked him as the primary target of God's judgment. Interestingly, this desert lies near the Euphrates River, a pivotal location in both the Book of Enoch and the final book of the Bible, Revelation. According to Revelation, for angels are bound at the river Euphrates, awaiting their release in the final days to lead a catastrophic army of 200 million soldiers, wiping out a third of mankind. This army will fulfill the judgment foretold in the prophecy, an army that brings about the ultimate destruction, mirroring the violence that once corrupted the earth. The Tower of Babel marks another significant moment of rebellion. After the flood, humanity once again sought to challenge God's will, building a great tower to reach the heavens. But God intervened, scattering the people and confusing their language. The offspring of the Nephilim continued to spread through the earth, leading to the rise of mighty warriors like the sons of Anak in Canaan. These descendants of the giants, who were part human and part angel, were scattered across various regions, continuing the influence of the fallen angels. Interestingly, many ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians, Babylonians, and Greeks, share a mythological theme of half-human, half-animal gods, such as centaurs, mermaids, and various beastly gods. These mythologies, it seems, are remnants of the corruption brought on by the fallen angels, whose influence permeated human culture across the ages. The judgment of the fallen angels. Now, as we look to the future, we see the connection between the Euphrates River and the judgment to come. In the final days, the 4 angels bound at the Euphrates will be released to lead a massive army to wreak havoc on the earth. This army will be the culmination of the angels' original rebellion, a final act of violence before God's judgment is brought upon the earth. These angels will lead this force in a world already marked by corruption and sin, the same sin that began with their actions long ago. It is said that at this moment, the fallen angels' role as corruptors of humanity in all its forms, whether through the creation of giants, the teaching of forbidden knowledge, or the initiation of war, will be fully realized. The world, once again, will be judged for its violence, just as it was in Noah's time. But this time, there will be no ark as God had promised. Instead, only those who remain faithful to God will be spared from the coming destruction. The story of the Nephilim, the Watchers, and the fall of angels ties together a tale of rebellion, corruption, and judgment that stretches from the beginning of humanity to the final days of the world. These angels were the architects of sin, spreading chaos, war, and violence upon the earth. The final battle, led by the 4 angels bound at the Euphrates, is the culmination of their influence, and their release signals the ultimate reckoning for all of mankind. In this narrative, we see that the angels' sin was not just about the creation of giants or hybrid beings, but about the profound and lasting impact of their rebellion, leading to war, violence, and the moral decay of all creation. As we look forward to the end times, we can see that the judgment of these angels is not only a spiritual event, but one that will have profound consequences for the earth itself, with the final reckoning bringing an end to the corruption that began in the days of Noah.